Okay. Hi everybody and welcome to week 3 of Make a Change. So week 3 we're going to focus on food labels and food packaging and give you some information about how you can read food labels and decipher them and hopefully make them simple and easy to understand. They can be quite confusing, they can be quite deceptive. So the key thing from today's session is to give you some simple tips, some simple tricks to have a quick look at food labels and make them much easier to understand. To then mean you can pick up a few different products and make a decision as to whether it's a healthy or a least healthy option for you. Just before we go into that though, just to obviously quickly recap, so far we've covered portions and portion sizes, and then last week we did a balanced diet and some of the key messages about what a healthy balanced diet is and some of the key things from each of the food groups. So hopefully you've had a couple of weeks now of working on your goals, setting some goals and working towards them. Obviously, as we've said before, Make a Change is a programme that builds on each week. So the idea is now is not to forget about the portions and balanced diet, is to keep working on them, keep focusing on those, and also now add in a next layer which will be the food labels and food packaging. So the food packaging is where we'll start today. What I wanted to show you is that it's basically don't believe everything that you see. So we've mentioned this last week about eating more whole grain foods, eating more fibre, eating more fruit, that type of stuff is all good for you. So if you label a cereal whole grain fruit and fibre, it should really tick the box of being a good healthy option, but that's not always the case. Even with this, I've got a big green banner here which says source of fibre, fortified with vitamins and minerals. So again, it's suggesting that it's very healthy, nice bright pictures of some nice fresh fruit. So all in all, it's looking like a good healthy product, and we've given you another example and supporting information of a cereal bar that does the same type of idea. But as always, the devil is in the detail, and not everything always appears as it actually seems. So when we start to look at the ingredients list, when you start to look at the food label, it's not really quite as healthy as what's getting made out to be. So certainly don't pay much attention to the clever marketing that they can use to make products seem much healthier than they actually are. So what we need to look at is what are the kind of key things we can use that give us the proper information to allow us to make an informed decision as to whether a product is a healthy or not so healthy option for us. What I want to stress though is this session isn't about having to check every single product in the supermarket. It's about maybe just checking those regular items that you buy, that you pick up and you just go around the supermarket without really checking. So things like ready meals, jars of sauces, cereal bars, anything like that you buy on a regular basis, just to maybe have a quick check, see how healthy it actually is, and then maybe compare it against another product, like for like, to see whether or not there is a healthier alternative. So what we need to know is what are those key things that we can look at that makes it easier or gives us that information to make a decision whether a product's healthy or not. So one of the things that's given to us is a traffic light system. And for me, the traffic light system is more of an indication. It's not 100% accurate, because for example with a cereal box it says per 40 grams and it's giving the traffic light system where it's all amber. If I look at these jars of curry sauces, again they've got a traffic light system on them. They're using it per a quarter jar. So one of the problems with it is it's not a standard measurement. So you can kind of play around with those values to make it look better than what it actually is. So don't pay, I think, again, too much attention to the traffic light system, but we'll come on to that in a little bit, just how to actually read the numbers to make sure that they are giving you true and proper information. So one of the things we can look at, I know this will be difficult to see from the camera, but one of the key things to look at is the ingredient list. And the ingredient list gives us one of the first kind of key bits of information. So the order the ingredients are listed is reflective of how much of that ingredient is in the product. So the higher up the list they are, means there's more of that ingredient in that product. So one of the things you can look out is for any fats or any sugars listed, and the first kind of 4 or 5 ingredients means it's going to be high in fat or sugar potentially. So that's one of the things to look out for. So for example, our whole grain fruit and fibre cereal, whilst it's got all these pictures of nice fresh fruit, the Third ingredient's coconut flakes, but that's basically a combination of coconut and sugar. Fourth ingredient is then sugar itself. It's then got sweetened banana chips. The word sweetened suggests that it's obviously got added sugar as well. So the first 4 ingredients there really have got sugar or a sugar variation in it. So that should probably be a clue that maybe this isn't quite as healthy as what it seems. So that can be one thing to look at. Another quick check can sometimes be the wording that they use on the packaging. So for example here we've got a little pot of porridge. These can be quite healthy, quite a good start to the day. But this one here is apple and blueberry, but in tiny writing underneath, apple and blueberry flavour. So if I then look at the ingredients list, it's got oats, it's got skimmed milk powder, it's then got sugar in it, and then natural flavouring, and nothing else. So there's no actual apple or blueberry in that product, and that's quite common. Things like yogurts will quite often say strawberry flavoured yogurt. So if you look at the ingredient list, there's no actual strawberries or fruit in there. So worth just double checking that. For me, it's much easier to buy just some normal porridge and add your own fruit in. Buy plain yogurt, add fruit in, that type of idea. That way you know exactly what you're getting. So yeah, so some of the wording can be quite deceptive as well. So be careful of those types of things, and that's just kind of the clever marketing that can be used. So what we really need to know is what is the thing that on the packaging that must be true and must be factual. So to do that, what we want to look at is the actual nutrition information. So this is the label that's got the energy, it's got fat, of which saturates. It then sometimes breaks it down into other fats as well, but don't worry about those ones. It's then got carbohydrate, of which sugars, and then fibre, protein and salt. So it's that actual label there that we want to focus in on. And in your workbook, and in the little British Heart Foundation booklet, you've got a table which shows you per 100 grams what are the kind of options or what are the values that are good for us, not so good for us, and the ones that are avoidable, shall we say. So we kind of look at it as green. Green would be kind of everyday foods, amber would be occasional foods, and red should really be classed as treat foods. So what we're looking for then? So basically with this, you'll see along the top, it's got per 100 grams. Sometimes it then might say per 40 grams, it might say per bar, it might say per quarter jar, it might say per half pizza, whatever it is. You want to ignore that and just focus on per 100 grams. So by doing that, it means that I can then compare this box of cereal to this jar of curry to this pot of porridge. Obviously, I'm not going to do that because I want to really just compare like for like products. So using the per 100 grams means regardless of what the product is, I can make a comparison. So what I can do then is go to the supermarket. If I usually buy this fruit and fibre, I can now maybe look at 2 or 3 other brands of fruit and fibre or other options and compare them against each other using the per 100 grams to see what one does have less sugar, what one does have less fat, what one's a healthier choice. So I hope that kind of makes sense of what I'm trying to say here. So really focus on the per 100 grams and then use that to compare the products like for like. So as an example of that, what we've got here is going back to the kind of curry sauces. So 2 kind of standard jars of curry sauce that you'd maybe use. So if I pick these up in the supermarket, I can then have a little look and think, right, okay, what's a healthier choice for me? So I'll try and write them up there just to make it a bit bigger for you guys to see. So picking one up, this one here, per 100 grams, remember, it's got 6.1 grams of fat, 2.2 grams of saturates, which is the fat you want to concentrate on, which is the one you want to be more mindful of. Carbohydrate, don't worry about the carbohydrate, what you want to focus in on is the of which sugars, and with this one here it's 8.4 grams, and then the salt is 0.73. Then if I had a quick look at this jar here to see what the difference would be. So we've got fat is 1.6. So already I'm thinking, oh hang on here, saturated fat, which we know is a fat to avoid, is less than 0.1 grams. So already we're making quite a saving here. And then off-white sugars is 4.3 grams, and then salt is 0.47. So by just picking up those two jars and having a quick check, you can see there's actually quite a difference in the amount of fat, saturated fat, sugars and salt that I would be consuming if I had just picked up the other jar and not paid attention. And then if you have a wee look at the table which is in your book, the one in blue, so 1.6, less than 0.1 grams are all, and then the 4.3 are all in this green. So that would then be a healthy, good option that we know. The other one though, unfortunately, of which saturates, is kind of going into the medium section. The sugar's 8.4, which again is a medium one, so it's really not quite as healthy as what the other one is. And this is what this session's all about. It's just about having a quick check of like-for-like products to see whether or not there is a healthier option. Another quick example is just using the porridge. Realistically, I'm not going to check the fat content because it's porridge, so we know it's going to be low in fat, but it's the sugars is the one you want to look out for. So per 100 grams, a quick look. This one here, the apple and blueberry flavour one, is 28 grams per 100 grams, whereas comparatively this one here is only 15 grams per 100 grams. So again, that quick check would make quite a difference in how much sugar I was consuming at that point. So that's all the kind of key points for this session. So really what we want you to do now is look at some of the stuff you've got in the house, look at some of the products you buy regularly, and just have a quick look next time you go to the shops, or even just online you can do it as well, and have a look at the food label, focusing on per 100 grams, looking at is it a healthier alternative. So I hope that all makes sense. Again, in your workbook, you've got space to set a couple of goals, so please do that. Myself and Sam will be in contact with you in the next kind of couple of days to answer any questions and obviously chat through with how you're getting on. Anything in the meantime, no, give us a wee phone, drop us an email, or as always, post it in the Facebook group and check in with everybody else to see how we're all doing. I hope everybody's well, and good luck, and speak to you all soon. Thank you, bye.